My favorite project from this year was an ad account for a plumber that was a little challenging, but I like that about it. It was a little bit of a puzzle, just kind of figuring that all out, making it impactful, making sure that we got a good ROI for the customer. It was for City Plumbing and Rooter. It was interesting because we were getting really good initial results from the campaigns that we were running. You know, there were some hurdles with how those were turning into contacts in the office. So working through those, making sure that our client was getting the best result possible for their spend. Definitely challenging, but also really fun and rewarding ultimately.
My favorite project this year is one that we're still actually working on, and it's the website redesign for our client Cornell Scott Hill Health Center. The Cornell Scott website is my favorite project just because it's something that has so many moving parts. We have a lot of meetings with different directors on a weekly basis to really make sure that the entire organization, as a multi-location organization, is moving in the right direction. And it's just been a very hands-on experience that has given us a lot of opportunities to learn even more about how things are decided within these larger organizations and how we can help market them based on those decisions.
My favorite project this year was probably making social ads for Siftex. The reason probably why that was my favorite was I was able to actually implement my 3D work. This project allowed me to experiment with different lighting, arrangements, and color schemes.
My favorite project this year was definitely the Summer Evans studio project, and I think it was partially because that project was a competition, but also because I loved Summer Evans branding, and I love when we work on hair salons because I feel like we could be a little bit more creative with them. Summer Evans branding really inspired me, especially the butterfly. I loved the story behind her mission and everything with her niece and the butterfly, and being able to incorporate that into her website as well. I feel like it made her website super unique.
I would say my favorite, I kind of had a couple, but definitely the food websites were my favorite. I really liked Bagel Bros. I really liked the aspect of just being able to be really creative. They were a lot more custom because they were food, coffee, and stuff like that. So yeah, I just liked being able to be creative with them. It's just gonna go.
My favorite project this year was working to incorporate more AI tools to benefit our clients at Develomark.
My favorite project this year was putting together our Humans versus AI event. It really was just so different from our normal scope of work, and it was so much fun to see it all come together. Part of what made this project really challenging was that it's so different from our normal work that we do for our clients at Develomark, but it was also challenging in the sense that we had to figure out how to get 100 people here in the office, how to make sure the whole event ran smoothly, and how to make sure people enjoyed it and had a great time. So there were a lot of different ways that it was challenging, but also really fun when it all came together.
My favorite project to work on this year was Cornell. I really enjoy working on that project because it makes me feel like I'm doing something for the great of the community. Cornell is a federally qualified health center looking to get healthcare for anybody who needs it in the New Haven area. Working on the project for Cornell can be a little bit challenging because there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people that have to give approval. Making sure that I get all of those approvals on the first or second try can be a little bit challenging. It's really great to be able to work through all of the opinions and be able to satisfy everybody.
My favorite project of this year was working with BBB attorneys. We were able to redesign their site, and it was challenging. I mean, they were really changing the focus of how they wanted their site to function, both structurally and visually. It was just fantastic to work with them and to have direct communication with the attorneys at BBB and to get their feedback on how we were doing and to just see it all come together.
My favorite project this year was probably the Implant Center of Miami rebrand, redesign, and really just development of their brand story for all 6 of their locations. Well, the major challenges is the name of the practice was Implant Center of Miami, and they expanded outside of Miami, which made it very difficult to use that name in different areas. So the challenge was how can we retain the brand and market that brand in the different areas that wasn't directly within Miami.